Hello friends, this is Dr. John WorldPeace JD. JD stands for Doctor of Jurisprudence, Law. I'm not a medical doctor and I'm not a PhD. I want to talk to you a little bit about my independent maverick candidacy for President of the United States 2020. Basically, an independent candidate, a truly independent candidate, is not affiliated with any party, Democrat or Republican, and is running a completely independent campaign. What that means is I don't have to participate in any primary. I don't have to fight my fellow Democrats, if you will. And then once somebody wins the nomination, then all the other competitors in the primary have to reverse course in a sense and get on board with the chosen nominee. I don't have to deal with any of that. I also don't have to deal with Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer or whoever's running a national or state party to not say certain things, to say certain things to get in line with the intents of the party. I'm not owned by any party. I'm not owned by any donors. This next election after Donald Trump is going to be about the qualifications of a candidate and not about party or high-end donors. It's going to be about who's qualified to be president. I think we can all agree that Donald Trump is the most unqualified excuse for a president that's ever been elected in American history. So here's a few things that have to do with my qualifications, and I am going to send this to the other candidates that are presently declared to run for president and get a response. I'm saying that I'm more qualified than they are. I'm curious to see whether they have any response to that. The first thing is that I am a veteran. U.S. Army, October 71 to May of 72. I was trained for 11 months to go to Vietnam, and when it came down to it, I was sent to the NATO forces in Vicenza, Italy, CTAP, and that's where I did my actual tour. I have 3 sons. They were all in the Marine Corps between the Iraqs, and my father was in the boot camp when World War II ended, and he went to Korea to repatriate the Koreans that had been chased into exile in China during World War II. I feel like that if you're not a veteran, honestly, you shouldn't even be running for president. I know that there's some women that are running, senators, 4 of them. The question I have is, did their fathers serve? Did their children serve? Adult children, possibly. And quite frankly, in the Me Too generation, I would ask them why they didn't serve. Second thing is, I go to church every Sunday, something that I've done in my life. I'm not somebody who just talks about Christianity. I I try to live it, and one of those things is to go to church on Sunday. I've written several books about Christianity and other religions, and so my commitment to being a Christian is a lot more than just lip service. Certainly, Donald Trump is. I'm not going to say he's not a Christian, but he's marginal. I don't even know if he's been to church since he's been president, except to George H.W. Bush's funeral. I also have a law degree, University of Houston, 1984. In fact, I was there at the same time that Elizabeth Warren was there, except she was in a teaching or administrative capacity. I don't believe that you should run for president if you don't have a law degree. If any one thing has appeared to be true, it is that a president like Donald Trump, who doesn't have an understanding of the foundations of American democracy through the law, he's totally lost. He's doing whatever he wants to do. He has no ability to understand the nuances of all the chaos that he's created with his do whatever I want to do attitude. So I don't think anybody should have to handhold the president to where, because he can't even formulate the basic questions to question policy, and essentially all government is writing laws. I also have a verified IQ. I am was a member of Mensa. After I changed my name to World Peace in 1988, I disengaged from all organizations because on some level all organizations are elitist and exclusionary. World Peace is democratic, all-inclusive. So I disengaged from Mensa, Masonic Lodge, and some other things. As a commitment really to world peace and not trying to separate myself from the rest of humanity. Donald Trump says he's really a smart guy, but he never took the Mensa test, so I think we pretty much know he's not a smart guy, not only because he hasn't taken the Mensa test, but because he just does stupid things. Traitorous things in some respects. I also have a CLU and a CPCU. These are designations in the insurance business that require 5 years of experience in the property casualty and 5 years experience in the life insurance business, in addition to taking about 30 college hours for each designation. If I was in a university setting, then those 2 degrees would have amounted to a second and third bachelor degree. I understand health insurance. I worked in that industry. I know what it's all about. Donald Trump doesn't, as far as I know, neither do the other candidates that are running. I changed my name to John WorldPeace in 1988 as a commitment to essentially globalism and increasing the level of peace in the world. And I've got 30 years of history as a world peace advocate. This is a global society now, and America as an isolationist is stupid. You can't function like you did 100 years ago as an isolationist. And isolation got us in World War I and World War II. We're getting ready to start experimenting with satellites that can move the trajectory of asteroids. That's a global issue. That's not a local issue. America and China and Russia and the other space powers need to be, European Union, need to be all focused together on a project to prevent the destruction of the Earth through an asteroid impact. I have spent significant time on farm, on a farm ranch. My grandfather was a farmer. My second wife's father was a farmer rancher. I can run a ranch. I know what that's all about. Build the fence, keep the equipment going, chop cotton, plant corn, yada, yada, yada. I've been there. I don't think any of the other candidates have done that. And if you haven't been on the farm, then you really don't know what that's all about. Uh, Most of these people, as far as I can tell, I'm not sure about Bernie Sanders, but I think they're mostly city. And I was raised in the city, no doubt. But I spent significant time on a farm and a ranch, and I'm fully capable of running, a farm or a ranch, and did from my second wife's father. Uh, I've been commenting on Donald Trump every day since November of 2016. I'm not coming to this campaign with some 3-sentence, 15-second sound bites. I'm coming with day-to-day comments on what he's done and what he's doing and what I agree with, and which is not much of anything that he's done, and what I disagree with. No other candidates has been that specific in what their concerns and problems with Donald Trump have been. So I've been a lot more engaged in the last 2 years than any of the other candidates about Donald Trump. Lastly, I have no significant assets by choice. Certainly with an accounting, a law degree, a political science degree, 50 years of experience working with small businesses, I wouldn't have any trouble getting a significant paying job, but I choose not to do that. I'm not money oriented personally. I live a minimalist life. I don't even own a car. I don't need a car, so I don't own a car. It's not a big deal to me. I don't have any assets to speak of except my business, my web design business, which I use just to bring in whatever money I need to, pay the bills every month. Nobody owns me. Nobody can buy me. That's what that means. My life is about what I can accomplish regarding world peace, and being president is a significant part of that. At any rate, I've submitted these questions to the other candidates to see if they have a response as to why they're more qualified to me than to be president in 2020. We'll see how they respond. It's February the 16th, Saturday. Thank you for your consideration. Have a good evening.